The Judson community on the west side of downtown Greenville is one of a former mill village, which is a very depressed area socioeconomically now. And it's actually in an area defined as a food desert, which means that people just can't get fresh, definitely not local or organic food without walking a long way. In fact, in this community, you have to walk 4 miles. And many people do have to walk, they don't have transportation. Well, the Generous Garden Project started a few years ago to eliminate hunger in Greenville. And so we do that by a few ways. We grow, and we give, and we teach. First of all, you grow because you have to have something to eat, and then you can give it away. And so we give those to organizations that can help people with that. And at one of our locations, the Judson Garden, we actually let people grow the food that they're going to get. And so we teach them how to grow that. So we exist to eliminate hunger in Greenville. We were renting 2 pieces of property, and some things changed with that, and we decided to get off one of those pieces of property. And we had some issues with codes enforcement with the city of Malden, and they required us to take some of our structures down and move them back because of setbacks, and wanted us to put up a privacy fence around the whole thing. And I don't know if you know much about fencing, but 4 acres of privacy fence is quite costly.
Stand above you until your final hour, taking all that's left from the honest and the humble. We'll storm the gates that it be known. I'm coming back to take my throne.
We are a church. And we minister to the homeless. Our primary goal is to help people get back on their feet. We serve 4 meals a day. On the weekend, we're like a day shelter. During the week, we offer triage of counseling. People don't know what to do. It's sort of scary. It would be like if you're walking down the street and you see this person, you're not sure if you should be afraid of them, if you should reach out to them, if they're going to harm you or not. What we try to do is educate people on that. I think people know that they're here. You can't not know it. This area is kind of hard not to know because they don't just stay here. They're walking downtown, and they're been abandoned for some of those areas because there's always either vandalism or whatever, but that's not always the homeless people. And that's what people don't understand. Most of our homeless people are not the ones that commit crime, literally. What you see are the gangs and that type individual that cause trouble. Most homeless people are pretty humble, just trying to find someone to love them through where they're at or understand why.
Over the years, I have met people that are down on their luck, and formerly they were bankers, or had preachers. I've had a lot of war veterans that are down on their luck.
No one else can see inside you. I'll never leave or let you down. You know I won't just.
We did have a pantry shut down in Pelzer. The church had made a decision to sell the property that pantry was using. They were actually using a house on the property, so they're going to sell that. But we did have a period this summer where we also had a week where all of our pantries were shut down because we ran out of food. Towards the tail end of the summer, donations tend to be down, food drives tend to be down, so that was probably the worst we've seen it though in 11 years.
Realistically, non-perishable food items is what we're always looking for. But it used to be that we had a hard time getting in like canned meats because they're a little more expensive. Unfortunately, we still have trouble with canned meats, but the largest amount of canned items that we put into each box are vegetables. Because you can sustain longer with 10 different vegetables than you can with 1 can of beef stew. So the vegetables, we actually had to close down the first week of September. And when we closed down, I added it up, and in order to run all of our pantries for 1 week, it would take us 8,600 cans of vegetables.
I think that there's more people in need, so we've seen a lot of what used to be some of our donors actually coming through the door receiving assistance. So donations and giving are definitely down, and the need is definitely up. So we see peaks and valleys. We see money come in, food come in. Sometimes it's a great time, and giving is up, and the food donations are up, and food drives are going, especially around the holidays. And then like midsummer, we'll also see those valleys where it's really a struggle. So having a consistent source of volunteers and income would definitely be the area I would say we struggle with the most.
Keep you caught inside. So just scream at the top of your lungs to remember how you felt back then in my arms. And even when your tears.
This whole project has been built on donations and volunteerism. We're looking at, this is between $80,000 and $90,000, this project alone right now. The land was donated, the shed behind me, all the materials to build the fence, the lawnmower, we just got everything built on donations and volunteer hours. So we're looking at probably 700 volunteers so far. At least a sixth of those from the community. We had to have a lot of help from outside the community to get it built, obviously. This was a dump site. It was where people came to shoot up and you know, get passed out drunk or whatever. And it was a place of death. Now it's a place where people are coming to receive turkeys and a free meal and outreach with our partners, Redemption Church. And it's a place where kids can come and learn how to grow things and learn about just that food comes from the ground, not from a grocery store shelf. I mean, there's been some tremendous days. I remember one week, spring break, 2 years ago, I had about 7 volunteer groups throughout the week. I was working full-time with volunteers out here.
I started volunteering, you know, like I said, years before with the church, feeding them. And Tri-Union was an entirely different place than what it is now. It was dark, it was gloomy, and people that came in here to get food on Sunday nights, they were just really down and pitiful, absolutely pitiful. I mean, because people just ignored them. But I have seen Tri-Union evolve over the years. We're not just providing food for the people, but now they're providing the ministries for mental health, for social work, for computer training, for drug and alcohol with David Gay, and also AA and NA meetings and Celebrate Recovery. It has just grown, and the people that walk through the doors now have a different attitude. You know, most of them come here seeking help, and not just a handout, but they really want to change their lives. And with the support, when you see somebody that was in Tent City that's gone through the support group and now they have jobs and homes, to me that's a miracle.
We actually serve 4 meals on the weekend, but it's our partner churches. They come in, they bring the food. We don't cook any meals. They bring it in. And then during the week, we have support circles, and there's 2 other meals, but it's just for the people that's going to support circles. So on Saturday, we serve lunch, and our parishioners can come in, they can get lunch, they can get a hot meal, they can wash their clothes. And while they're doing that, though, we don't just give it to them. They also have to be doing a chore. So that's why we keep our building, we keep our building clean. They cut the grass, they trim the hedges, all of those things are being done while there's someone who's washing their clothes. And then on Sunday we serve lunch, but you have to go to church in order to come get lunch. But we normally serve, say on Saturday we serve 80 to 90 people. And then Sunday lunch we serve anywhere from 120 to 150 people. And then Sunday, like I said, after church, and then they come in and they help clean up. And then during the day we have the art room open. We have someone in the computer lab helping with filling out applications for jobs. We have a support circle group where they can go in and sort of, have someone listen to their problem. We have Bible study. We have the music room open. We have our rehabilitation counselor here so they can go speak with them. We have our associate pastor here so that, if they need, whether it's marital counseling or whatever. And then all of that's going on in the afternoon. And then we're also a day shelter so they can just sort of sit down and chill out if they want to.
I just come here because that's just like home to me. I've been coming here for about 15 or 20 years, you know. And I've been amazed for what the church has done for me and for all the rest of the homeless people.
This place, you get a combination like Pastor Mike, and you'll get counseling and the word, and that helps you understand. I think here, a lot of people come in here, and Pastor Mike and Kim and all the counselors work with them, and then they go out and they may go to work or they may go into the community and look and they see other people different. So I think he is doing more good.
I've been sick for almost a year, so I come here to hear Preacher Mike preach, and I come because I don't have food a lot of times. And if it wasn't for the pantry, for this college year, I wouldn't survive. It's been very vital for me. I mean, I've been down to nothing to eat whatsoever in my house. Since I've been coming here, it's like, everything is a blessing every day, I've got my house now. I'm struggling, and I've had a lot of medical problems. Died twice, 3 times in February last year. It's hard to get food to feed the community, and there is a lot of people in Fountain Inn that really depend on this guy's pantry to get by from one day to the next. I've had nothing but good experience here, and Preacher Mike is just the most awesome guy. I could sit and talk to him forever, really, because he understands and he cares and he calls and he checks on people.
My wife and I love when the kids are out here, and we can actually spend time with those kids. Sometimes they're here because they have to be because of the Department of Juvenile Justice or something, and we get to actually be role models and mentor them. But the fun times with them, when you're not trying to correct something or instill something, is just hilarious. A couple times the kids have taken my little farm hat. It's like a cowboy hat, and they put it on and act like they're in the Old West, and or even just their surprise when I dig back a pile of composted mulch or something, and they're like, "What? Why is there soil in there? Where did that come from?" And it's obviously composted, but just watching them learn is great, and then giving them the food. I mean, that's an obvious one. It's just being proud that what we're doing here is actually feeding kids. A lot of these kids, every kid at the school across the street is on free or reduced lunch. Literally 99 to 100%, depending on the day. And a lot of them don't have food on the weekend.
There's a need. There's a need for the individuals, the clients coming in to be loved, and any spiritual needs, there's physical needs, that's about it. And we're here. Just come on down and help out and donate and do whatever you can to help.
A sense of it's okay. It's all okay. It's okay that you're in a bad place for the moment, and it's okay that you feel awkward about all this because everyone does, and that happens. But it's also okay because we're going to help you to the next level. And if there's anything that you need, if there's a resource that you need that we don't provide, we're going to direct you to someone who does. We're going to do whatever we can to help you out. And needing a little bit of food for right now is certainly nothing to hang your head about. There are a lot of people out there who aren't coming and getting help that need to because they're afraid of being shunned or looked down upon, and there is no one in this organization that looks down on anyone who needs assistance. You can live without a lot of things. You cannot live without food.
If they're a community member especially, I want them to know that there's a positive thing happening in the community, that there's hope for the community and for them, and that people are investing in each other. I want the kids, to leave with a knowledge of how to work, a work ethic, but also a better knowledge just scientifically about how things grow and what they should be eating to be healthy. And I want to believe with friendships, memories, friendships. Volunteerism is social. And that's the point. You know, everyone's doing a garden now. But really it's about creating those relationships and impacting people, mentoring kids. You know, maybe there's a faith-based aspect to that. And you can do all of that while digging a hole with someone or talking about tomatoes.
Serve when you can. You don't have to give money. You don't have to take somebody to a restaurant. You don't have to be a preacher. You don't have to wear a suit and tie to sit down to talk to somebody that might need a little help. Teenagers, middle age, 70s and 80s, every single soul walking, talking, breathing needs a kind voice and a pat on the back every now and then.